Tom Aspinall's the guy. He's the guy.
Dana White says I'm his man. We love that. We love that on the channel.
And what about Francis Ngannou? You having him? You want some?
The day that I start ducking out of fights and turning opponents down and stuff like that is the day that I'm going to retire. So, as I've always said, and you can ask any promoter I've ever worked with, any guys at the UFC, I'll fight anyone, I'll fight anytime, and I'll fight anywhere. Never turn down a fight in my life, never will. The day that I start thinking about turning down fights is the day that I'll retire. So to answer the question, whoever they want me to fight is who I'm going to fight.
Tom Aspinall has finally reached his breaking point. After months of silence from Jon Jones, uncertainty from the UFC, and no clear direction on what's next, Aspinall is speaking out, loud and clear. There's been speculations that his next opponent might be Ciryl Gane, but Tom isn't focused on rumors. He's focused on answers.
So maybe Jon's not going to come back. Maybe the announcement that Tom's talking about is Jon Jones stepping away, Ciryl Gane stepping in, Tom versus Ciryl for the undisputed belt. Because right now in the heavyweight division, I can't think of anyone else more deserving. Yeah, okay, Volkov, he might have something to say about that.
This is #1 bullshit.
But in terms of a fan favourite, kind of mouth-watering matchup, Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall, two gigantic guys, two big dudes, two agile guys, two very, very quick guys. That's a good one. That's a matchup that I would like to see.
Tom says, I will not be fighting Jon Jones. You would know that he is retired.
I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Tom comes out and says that he is the undisputed champion. There was one tell later in the interview. I said, all right, Tom, let's say you're a matchmaker and you have to match up Ciryl Gane. Do you think that Ciryl should fight for a championship? There's two of them out there right now. And this was the most interesting part of the interview for me. And all I'm doing is trying to play poker with Tom. I'm just looking for a tell. And he said, no, I don't think he should be fighting for a title next. He emphasized think, which left a massive impression on Daniel and I that Tom is fighting Ciryl next, but that Tom doesn't agree with that booking, that it should have gone to somebody other than Ciryl.
But Tom isn't exactly excited about that matchup. In his own words, he doesn't believe Ciryl Gane has earned another shot at the title. He views Gane as someone who's sidestepped real challenges and only shows up when the odds are in his favor.
He's dismissed me on multiple occasions, and I'm not the first guy that he's dismissed. I'm not the first guy that he's ducked. It's out there for people to see. The reason that I got the Pavlovich fight was because Ciryl didn't want it. So he ducked Pavlovich. He then ducked Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades has been on record saying that I asked for him years ago, didn't want it then. I then asked for him in Paris. They flew me over. We tried to make that fight. He didn't want it then. And we'll see what the UFC want to do.
Ciryl tweeted that he thinks you should be careful what you wish for, and he'll see you in Paris. How do you think you match up against Ciryl?
I better be careful, apparently. Yeah. I think I match up pretty well against him. I think I'm equally as fast as him. I move equally as well. The difference is I can grapple. I've got a lot of power. And I think that's pretty undeniable at this stage of my career. I've got a lot of knockouts on my record, mate. I have to touch you once, and I wasn't even throwing heavy tonight. I thought it was going to be a 5-rounder. I didn't mean to knock him out. I was pretty sure that was going to be a 5-round fight tonight, and just takes one shot, mate, at heavyweight, especially with me throwing him.
Ciryl Gane is maybe next opponent for you?
Well, he can fight Almeida first, because he refused the fight with me. So now, before he jumps back in and waits for a shot, he can fight Almeida. Them guys can fight, and the winner can fight me.
And at this point, that's not the kind of fight Aspinall is interested in taking.
Like, he didn't put up any resistance in that fight, lost it really easily. You can't then come back and beat the number 8 or 9 guy and then go straight back to fight Jon Jones. That's just not how it works, man. You can't be like, oh yeah, I deserve a title shot now. No, you don't. You've had 2 goals, you lost them both.
He's not here to waste time, he's here to make a statement. And in a recent interview, Tom Aspinall didn't hold back. If Jon Jones won't step up, he's ready to face anyone, including Francis Ngannou. That name seemed to come out of nowhere, but the moment he said it, the MMA world exploded with speculation.
Aspinall versus Francis, who wins?
Oh, that's a good fight. That's a great fight. Always been a big fan of Francis. Love his story, love what he's all about. I think it's a 50-50 fight, to be honest. Francis is a scary man. But I think technically I would take the edge, but I think that's a great fight.
Could this be the mystery matchup everyone's been waiting for? Is Tom Aspinall now chasing the baddest man outside the UFC? No one saw it coming? but it's got the MMA world buzzing. While the UFC stays silent and Jon Jones keeps posting cryptic tweets, Tom is doing the opposite, staying active, staying ready, and making it clear he won't sit on the sidelines while everyone else plays politics. And if a fight with Francis Ngannou actually materializes, it would be an all-out war. On one side, the former UFC heavyweight champ with freakish knockout power and a highlight reel built on pure destruction.
Who's next big heavyweight star?
Tom Aspinall, the guy who
Of course, who
won
just
the
won.
interim title. He's phenomenal. And he is, again, the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem because he's a heavyweight and he's a big guy, a really big guy, but he moves so fast. And so his speed has always been like extraordinary compared to other heavyweights. Like, he just moves in. It's all like fast, explosive movements. So he's got natural speed, but then he's also got a lot of training to execute quickly. So when he moves in, he closes the gap. You can see like he's fast for a big guy.
Right.
I want to see it so bad.
John was shitting all over Aspinall, saying that
I think that's a bad way to go.
He was lucky that he blew his knee out with Curtis Blades because Curtis was teeing off
Doing
on
well.
him. Unless John avoided him, unless John used his wrestling to avoid exchanges, you know what that's all about.
Correct. It's called the Shop Shutdown.
Shop Shutdown.
I saw a 7-part
They did with
series on
Cyborg.
it. Yes. The Stipe fight, which is just like, it's a weird thing.
Aspinall's an athlete, man. He's such a good athlete.
Freak athlete.
Very fast. Very fast for a heavyweight.
So fast.
Yeah, but
And-
we felt the same way about Cyril Gahn.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but Cyril
Gahn
Gahn
is-
doesn't have wrestling, doesn't have jiu-jitsu. Aspinall's like legit on the ground. Very legit on the ground.
So legit
dad-
that his dad owned a jiu-jitsu gym. His dad's a black belt. He started doing jiu-jitsu at 2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Aspinall is past the first round, right? Because we've seen him. He looks so fast. He looks, you're like, nobody moves like him. He looks like a younger Kane.
Right.
But he just keeps knocking these guys out so quick. So I'm like, let me see him past the first round to see if he has that cardio as well.
It's a bit of a problem for him, right? Because he has not been tested in that way.
I think Tom smokes him. I do. And I think John is probably very conscious of that threat as well. I'm not saying he doesn't think he can win, but he understands that this will be a tough fight. But they're all tough fights. They're all supposed to be tough fights. The reality is, Jon Jones is now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And when he fights Stipe Miocic, and if he is victorious, then he has to face Tom Aspinall next. This is just the way the world works, okay? And if he refuses to fight Tom Aspinall next, then we got to start having a serious conversation as to whether or not this man should be stripped. John is the undisputed champion of the world. Tom is the interim champion. This is how it works. They face one another. He's calling out Alex Pereira for a legacy fight. That wasn't your thinking at light heavyweight. You were taking on all comers. And that is what a champion is supposed to do. Take on all comers. What I'm saying is sounds crazy. I'm not saying this as a Jon Jones hater. But if this was boxing, Jon Jones would be stripped. That's a fact.
On the other side, you've got the fastest, most technical heavyweight the UFC has seen in years, Tom. Aspinall moves like a middleweight, hits like a freight train, and stays composed under pressure. That kind of matchup, it would be pure chaos, an explosive, unpredictable showdown between two elite strikers. A fight with massive stakes and even bigger implications for the future of the heavyweight division.
Ngannou is, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous punchers ever. He is an absolute physical specimen. And I thought he was just dangerous with the little gloves on. You know, he comes in from all angles, he throws all over the place, he's a little bit wild. And then obviously when he put the boxing gloves on, the 10 ounces, obviously that transferred over, and the guy is just an absolute truck. And I think that one of the things that is most dangerous, someone from my perspective, who is obviously an MMA fighter, I've sparred a lot of rounds with Tyson Fury, a lot of rounds with other professional high-level boxers, and the success that I have personally is when I do unorthodox things. You know, boxers, they've been sparring, they've been fighting since they're young. You know, let's say they're 30 years old, they've been sparring and fighting since they were 10. Most boxers have very similar styles. They're working behind a jab, a double jab, a 1-2, a 1-2 left hook, traditional stuff, whereas MMA fighters, They're throwing punches on angles that they're not used to. They're doing unorthodox.
Francis Ngannou is scary. You know, there's a big chance that he could break my jaw. With Francis Ngannou, it's very simple. Get comfortable with the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is he knocks you the fuck out. He possibly fractures a bone in your face. That's the worst case scenario. You get real comfortable with that idea, and then it becomes easy. If he doesn't knock you out and break your face, you're smart, you're fast, you have a chin, you have great head movement. You know, you can wrestle. You can. There's a lot of ways things can play out. So I just think about the worst case scenario and get yourself mentally to a place where you almost walking into that. Like, okay, I'm getting ready to go out there and this guy could possibly hurt me tonight. So that's the way I look at it. It's like, yeah, Francis Ngannou is dangerous. Yes, I believe that he has a chance to knock me the fuck out. Let's say that out loud. But if I don't get knocked out, I believe I win that fight. I just gotta get through round 1. And I win that fight.
But beyond all of that, it's the Jon Jones situation that continues to hang over the heavyweight division like a dark cloud. Jon has hinted at a return, blamed the UFC for delays, and claimed his legacy is already cemented, saying he has nothing left to prove. Yet in the same breath, he talks about wanting one more big-name fight and staying active with the promotion. Meanwhile, Dana White says he hasn't heard a word from Jon. He's not thinking about Francis. And the division? It's stuck in limbo, waiting for clarity that never comes.
He's retired. He's never going to fight again. He also said that he hasn't worked out since his last fight in November. We're in June. That's 6 or 7 months, okay? We're going to talk about all of that because Tom Aspinall also said that there's a big announcement coming soon.
Massive announcement incoming.
And we know we're rinsing this, but this is the biggest story in mixed martial arts for the biggest fight in mixed martial arts and potentially the biggest duck avoidant regarding everyone.
I see quite a few people in here calling me a duck. I'm a duck. Call me a duck. Call me a chicken. Call me a goat. Call me a dog. I'm not in high school anymore, guys. A grown man out here chasing his dreams. It's funny that we really live in a world where being called a duck should affect me. Guys, come on.
I got people in the chat calling me a duck. Meanwhile, I'm living my absolute best life. I don't know if it's considered duck when you're living good. I don't think it works like that.
It's not about you, Jon. It's not about you. It's not about your life. It's not about your story. If you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be a part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking because there is a time-honored tradition in this business, in the sport, in combat sports, in fight sports, in sports period, that the whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division. So yes, you're missing the point. This isn't about you. It's about the belt. How many more times does Tom have to say it? He would love to fight him. He would love to be he would love to have the opportunity to be that guy. He would love it. Who wouldn't? But he just wants that belt. He wants whatever that belt signifies, whatever it symbolizes, and what it brings. It brings all the things that Jon Jones is enjoying right now, because if Jon Jones wasn't the most decorated champion, wasn't the greatest light heavyweight champion, wasn't the 2-division champion, he wouldn't be doing things like this. He wouldn't get opportunities like this. He wouldn't get the opportunity to live his best life. And now you are stopping someone else from living their best life. Do you get the difference? It's not about you. And so when the legends fought you, and I'm not even talking about when you were champ or tried to become champ, I'm talking about the dudes that fought you on the way up.
And caught in the middle of it all is Tom Aspinall. The interim champ, the man who saved a UFC card, stepped in on short notice and finished the job in under 70 seconds. Yet, despite all that, he's still left without the clarity he's earned. It's no surprise that fans are starting to lose patience. Some think Jon Jones is playing it smart, biding his time, negotiating behind the scenes, and carefully choosing a fight that protects his legacy. Others believe he's simply dodging real danger.
But do I think he's scared to take the tough fights at this stage in his career? Absolutely.
Can you understand that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can.
You can empathize with that?
I respect it. But if you're going to ask me the straight up question, is Jon Jones afraid to fight me? The honest answer would be yes.
Well, is regardless of that and that fear, because clearly he's overcome it at times in the past. Is that fight fucking happening?
I cannot say or deny. No, right now we're actually waiting for news. We have had to do. I'm chasing it up. Like the UFC are saying that it's going to happen. I'm chasing it all the time. I want the fight really bad. You know what? It's not even. Like I see people online saying the thing that happened with Conor and Chandler.
Yeah.
People are like, don't be like Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not about the fighting John. It's about the UFC heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Like I've got a version of the title, but I want to be the undisputed champion. That's all it is. It doesn't matter about John. I'm trying to be the undisputed heavyweight champion. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not chasing one fight. If I can fight John and get the biggest scalp in MMA, absolutely, I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? And it's a great time for me because he is slowing down a little bit and I've not even reached my prime yet.
An idea. He was the one who delayed till Francis was out the fucking door. He could have fought Francis a long time ago. If he'd just taken the chance of going up the heavyweight earlier, we could have had him versus a prime Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was 240. Jon Jones is 260, 265. And you're telling me Cain Velasquez was too big for him? What a load of shit. Stipe Miocic could have fought him in his prime, another one who was no bigger than Jon Jones. So when he's giving it the big and being like, oh, well, people always think someone's going to come and dethrone me. And yeah, I get the narrative. That was the way at light heavyweight. There was always that next guy coming up. But you ain't never fought an animal like Tom Aspinall, who is as quick on his feet, who has the speed that he does at 260 pounds, who has the heavy hands that he does. You have never been in there with a beast like that. It's just not happened. I'm not saying that means Aspinall wins, but for people to do the Tyson Fury thing of going, oh, well, he's always won, so therefore he always will win.
When you're an interim champion, they only make an interim champion when the champion cannot defend the belt. So for Jon Jones, he couldn't defend the belt because he tore his pec muscle. So the interim champion means he should be fighting the champion right off the bat. That's not the case with Jon Jones, right? Because Jon Jones is going to fight Stipe Miocic. So the interim champion is supposed to sit there and wait. But by law, in the regulations, once Jon Jones steps in the cage, he is stripped of his interim champion because the champion has returned. There is no longer for an interim champion. What is the point of having an interim champion when the champion is ready to fight?
This is the only sport in the world you can have somebody hold your career back.
Yep. I've been almost a year inactive with no prospects of anything. Just be ready and we'll just let you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of difficult, mentally to...
Oh, yeah.
This is the fight against Jon Jones. Not the fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. It's tough. As you said a minute ago, no one really knows what's going on behind the scenes apart from me.
Exactly. You're in the office cooking.
I train all the time anyway. Just because I've not got a fight doesn't mean I don't train. I honestly can see John's point of view. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. It's just about the title for me.
Yep.
I just want the title, that's it.
Yep.
Does nothing else really matter. So
you're like, let me do my thing. Let me fight.
I just want to fight.
And I think that's the respectful way to go about it. It's like, you don't care if it's John, and it's no disrespect to John, it's no disrespect to anybody out there. You're just trying to fight. Yep. I just want to fight.
Yep.
And Tom Aspinall might just be the exact kind of challenge Jon Jones doesn't want right now. Stylistically, he's a nightmare. Fast, powerful, composed, razor-sharp with his striking, and getting better every time he steps into the cage. While the debates keep raging, whether it's about legacy, timing, or fear, one thing is undeniable. The UFC's heavyweight division is at a standstill.
The UFC is about one guy being the champion of each division. I defended the interim once already. It's almost unheard of that. It's unprecedented. I thought it was silly the first time, to be honest. The reason that I did it, the first time I fought Curtis Blades, it went down as a loss. I got injured. Worst moment of my career, one of the worst moments of my life. I wanted to redeem myself and get the legit victory against Curtis Blades because it was unfinished business. That was hurting my ego, and I wanted to prove that I was better than Blades, which I did in the rematch, and I defended the interim. Something else, that particular fight was in Manchester, in my hometown. I wanted to fight in my hometown. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that again in front of a sold out, brand new Co-op Live arena in Manchester, England. I don't know if I'm ever going to have the opportunity to do that again. So for them two reasons, that's why I defended the interim. I'm not doing it again. Like, I've cleared out the rest of the division, undisputed, and that's it. I deserve a shot at being known as the best heavyweight walking around on planet Earth. It doesn't matter on the opponent, undisputed, mate.
Stupid. I have no idea the reason why the UFC don't really want Tom to fight anybody else other than Jon Jones. And, you know, they're saying, stay tuned. That's the message they wanted Tom to give out to people. And we had the meeting with Hunter. And they're going to try and fix the fight with Jon Jones, but we're still in April now. Still waiting for this guy to say, I'll have a fight or I'll not have a fight. And I don't really understand that. He's a fighter who should be having fights. Why is he just still sat around not giving an answer as to whether he's going to fight or not? Tom's done all he can do. You know, he's fought in the middle of the night to defend an interim. He fought for an interim because the fight was on for him to do an interim and he couldn't turn it down. And he won that. What else can he do?
Until Jon Jones steps up to defend, or the UFC finally makes a decisive move, nothing changes. Cyril Gane might be floated as an option, but Aspinall has made it clear he's after something bigger, riskier, and more meaningful. Whether it's Jon, Francis, or anyone else willing to answer the call, Tom Aspinall is ready, because his career won't wait forever, and neither will the fans.